Okay, 5.1 is looking at credit cards and doing a bit of comparing and a bit of calculating. So in the try these, it says circle the lower annual interest rate. So notice how they're they're pretty close, but we just have to look a little bit more closely. So the first one, 19.25%, and the next one's 19.255. Doesn't really matter if it was percents or not. If there's an extra decimal place, all the other digits are the same, this one will be higher. So, oops. So this will be the, oh, sorry, that's the higher. I'm supposed to circle the lower. So this one's the lower. Here, we've got 18.05 and 18.5. So if we go decimal place by decimal place, this is a 0, and the 10th, this is a 5. So 0 is less than 5, so this one's lower. Here, 12.79, 12.7. So everything's the same, but then this has a 9, this has nothing, which means it's a 0. So that means this is smaller. Okay, and so you'll want to compare interest rates if you're shopping around for credit cards when you get a little bit older. Okay, so when you use a credit card, you borrow money. Each month you receive a balance statement. You need to pay the balance by a certain date. The date is named on the balance statement. The period of time is called a grace period. So if you do not pay within the grace period, the company will charge you interest. So if your payment balance due date is the 30th of the month, and you buy something on the 10th of the month, then they're not going to charge you any interest from the 10th until the 30th if you pay by the 30th. If not, then they're going to calculate interest on it. So some credit cards have a revolving balance. That means that you can make a minimum payment instead of the entire. But if you pay less than the entire, you pay a finance charge, right? And that's typically what happens. Often it's the finance charge is the interest. Sometimes it's a flat fee, but not usually. So the chart shows some different types. So, I mean, we all think about credit cards as always the same type, but there's certain things. Some cards have no annual fees, some have high fees. Some have low interest rates, some have high interest rates. Usually the credit cards for stores, so like if you have a credit card at the Bay or at Home Depot or at any kind of big box kind of department store sort of thing, their interest rates are usually higher than a bank credit card. So Visa, MasterCard, American Express, those ones are usually lower interest rates. So yeah, and so then certain ones you can get higher balance, higher limits on them, usually bank ones. Store credit cards, usually it's smaller amounts is the maximum. And so those are just different things that they're talking about here. Okay. Some are tied to rewards as well. That's actually says here, but some, like your parents might have a WestJet, is it a Visa or MasterCard? And so they get WestJet points. I have a credit card, a Visa, that gets points that I can redeem for a variety of things, including for Expedia travel. And so a lot of bank credit cards have those incentives, saying that they usually have an annual fee. So you're kind of paying for a little bit of those incentives with the fee. If you get just a basic Visa, no fee, then you're not getting the rewards, but you're also not paying a yearly amount. Okay, so here it says a bank or company is more likely to give you a credit card if you have an income and a good credit rating. You earn a good credit rating by using credit wisely. So once you graduate and you get a job and you have a regular paycheck coming in, then you'd want to maybe you move out and you have that you can gain credit rating by just paying your electricity bill on time. That's one way of doing it. If you end up buying a car um, when you're a little bit older and where you have to get a loan for it, you pay off your loan um, uh, in the amount of time that was set out and you pay each month on time, that increases your credit rating. And then, so you would talk to your bank and decide, uh, what's the best way to prove your credit rating. Sometimes they'll give you, when I was young, a credit card with a very small amount of balance. And so I made some purchases on the credit card, and then I made sure to pay those on time. And so that built up my credit rating. So then I could get a higher limit on my credit card. So there's different ways around it. Okay. So Rita works as a medical office assistant in Hay River. She has a good credit rating and a job. She would like a no-fee credit card. She plans to pay the entire balance monthly. She may need longer to pay off larger purchases. So she might not pay it all off monthly, is what I read there. What type of credit card should she apply for? So here it gives us a checklist. So she wants a no fee, may be paid in part, and must be paid in full. If it must be paid in full, that's not going to help her for those big ticket items she's thinking she's going to buy. So she's going to want that. I think she wants it to be accepted at most stores. What does she want? A limit, yes or no? I don't know did she say that? She didn't say, so it's better if you don't have a limit, but you can. Security deposit, I don't think she wants that. So basically, I think if you looked back in here, probably she wants it at most stores, right? She doesn't really want a security deposit, so that would be down to basically the standard. Okay, revolving balance means that she can get away with not paying the whole thing if she really needs to. So a standard credit card would be the best. And then you can use it at any store. All right, then you get the statement. So Bob receives his credit card statement. So new balance is $944.95. This is where it tells you the minimum payment. So if you didn't pay the minimum payment, then they're going to keep track, and that's where your credit rating, first time you miss it, is going to go down. And so then it'll be harder to get a higher limit, buy other things, etc. So here's the annual percentage rate. It's terrible. It's almost 30%. So that's why you don't want to carry a balance if you can at all avoid it. So Bob makes only the minimum payment, makes no other purchases. How much will Bob owe for the next statement in 31 days? So basically, we take off the 19 because he is paying that minimum payment. So $944.95 minus the 19 is $925.95. And now we have to calculate the interest on that. And it's daily interest. So $925.95. 1 plus the interest rate was 29, so 0.2999 in there for 31 days. So that's the compound interest like we practiced in the getting started. Okay, so I'll do this all at once on my calculator. And then exponent 31. So that's $949.83. $949.83. So now we subtract to figure out how much interest. So we can just take that and subtract $925.95, and that's $23.88. Okay, so not a lot of interest, but that's what just for 1 month, right? So if you can look over here, it says Bob says the interest is not that much. I'll just make the minimum payment every 1 month. Is this wise? Well, if you think about that, this is added. That's how much interest was charged. So then the next month, if they keep it at $19, you're not even paying any of the principal off. So yes, maybe for 1 month it's fine, but you've got to plan and not keep a balance as much as possible. Trust me from experience. Don't keep a balance. Okay, so now you can work on the practice for this one and then do 5.2.